Let's talk more about the game, which you can catch tonight right here on Fox 45. Pregame starts at 7:30 and kickoff at 8. Join us live this morning for an exclusive interview is Justin Kinner from Dayton's ESPN Radio 1410 Wing AM. Now, I know we've all been waiting for a full season. Very excited to see the Buckeyes back in action. Minnesota's not an easy one, though, in their first matchup against PJ Fleck and his team. So tell us what we can expect from this big game.
I think it's yes, the opponent. You have to respect the opponent. You have to respect the coach. But it's really the elements that have me, I don't want to say concerned. I'm not heading in tonight thinking, oh, man, Ohio State's going to lose. But it does have a lot of the elements for the recipe that has led to disaster for Ohio State in the past. The Buckeyes being on the road in a raucous environment against an opponent that really just wants to make a name for themselves that season, especially with the win over Ohio State. But there's a lot of reasons that Ohio State's vulnerable tonight. For one, they have a first-year starting quarterback in CJ Stroud, who's going to be making his debut for the Buckeyes on a Thursday night on the road against a Big Ten opponent. This isn't being eased into the season. So there's a lot of pressure on him, and there's a lot of unknown elements. Ohio State lost a lot of players to the draft as well, which is something that they're used to. But I'm really intrigued by the Thursday night kickoff. We've seen Ohio State have a few of these over this past decade. They kicked off a few years ago against Indiana on a Thursday night. Very sluggish to start. That was J.K. Dobbins' debut with the Buckeyes. He had a monster night to debut for Ohio State. Hopefully Ohio State can get a big night from CJ Stroud tonight in his debut. They're definitely going to need it. I think Ohio State will be fine, but man, on the road on a Thursday night against a Big Ten opponent, first-year starting quarterback, Ohio State has their work cut out for them, and PJ Fleck is a heck of a coach for Minnesota. They're going to be prepared here tonight.
I feel like we've been spoiled by Justin Fields over the last couple of years with his mobility, his strong arm. How does his game compare to what we're expecting to see out of CJ Stroud tonight?
I think a lot of similarities. CJ Stroud, from everything I've heard and what limited capacity we've been able to see him, has a very strong arm, very accurate, and very versatile in the pocket. He's going to be able to make plays with his legs. Very similar to Justin Fields. Everything we're saying about CJ Stroud, we technically said 2 years ago about Justin Fields coming in. We know what he's capable of, but until we see him out on the field, I remember being at Justin Fields' first game with Ohio State against Florida Atlantic, and I was like, man, Florida Atlantic, I'm not worried about Florida Atlantic. I'm just worried about what Justin Fields is going to look like. Well, Ohio State was up 28-0 at the end of the first quarter and was just fine. I don't know if it'll be as simple of a task tonight, but CJ Stroud gets a couple nice plays early, gets settled in. I think he'll be okay. He has three really good wide receivers, too, and that's always going to be a quarterback's dream, is to have weapons around him, and C.J. Stroud does not have any shortage of weapons between the run game, the offensive line, and those wide receivers, and, of course, having an offensive genius of a head coach in Ryan Day. I think C.J. Stroud will be fine. There are a lot of similarities between him and Justin Fields, but it's really going to come down to, can he perform when the lights come on, and the lights will be on tonight in prime time, that's for sure.
Certainly will. Prime time here on Fox 45 at 8 o'clock tonight. Justin Kinner, you can catch him every day, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 on the Justin Kinner Show on ESPN, Dayton, 1410 Wing AM. Justin, we appreciate you stopping by.
I appreciate you having me. Go Bucks.
Hank, it's on the football fever on the road, and our Clay Hall is out among the Gophers.
Clay, the Bucks arrived just minutes ago there in Minneapolis. And a beardless Ryan Day first off the bus. Tell us more.
Yes, I think you'll find him to be quite clean cut tonight. There's no doubt about that. The Buckeyes have landed, and they are eager to kick off the 132nd season of Buckeye football. Take a look at team arrival. Coach Day getting off the bus, and again, he can grow a beard pretty darn quick, but on the road at night against what was a top 10 team 2 years ago seems a little bit stressful. But head coach Ryan Day prepped his team for the Gophers starting in the spring. Probably a good move. So I asked him tonight about 20 minutes ago, is your team ready for the test?
Yeah, I do. I mean, we've been prepared for this game for a long time, and I think that it's time to go play, find out where we're at. We have contingency plans for what happens in the game. Certainly, when you start a season out, there's going to be twists and turns along the way, and in-game adjustments are going to be important. But more important than that, it's going to be about handling the environment. For haven't been in a full stadium in a long time, and seeing some of the young guys get on the field.
Yeah, we've talked about this this week. So many unknowns. How are they going to handle the pressure? And there's a lot at stake here. You know, these first two games, if you can get them in the right column, the correct column, it would be the left column, then you're off to a great start. You're rolling. So very important to win this Big Ten opener against the Gophers, who are a veteran team, as we said, top 10 a couple of years ago, have certainly a good quarterback in Tanner Morgan and a great running back as well. So we'll be here to preview it tomorrow night. I know Bob and Stacia have a lot more on that. From Minneapolis, I'm Clay Hall for the Football Fever.
All right, Clay, thank you. Hope those other stations are thanking you for holding their microphones. It's triple fisting it there. Clay and the Football Fever crew have you covered for the opener, the Buckeyes versus the Gophers, tomorrow night on our sister station, Fox 28 here. Pre-game show 6:30, followed by the kickoff at 8, and then your post-game right after the game at 11:30.